there's always a way that you can walk away from a bad habit. And when I realized that, first of all, my dad didn't want me smoking. And I personally recognized that smoking was hurting me because I didn't agree with, smoking did not agree with me because my lungs would fill up with something during the night, and then I'd get up the next morning and cough for half hour, try to get you breathing going again. And I said, there ain't no better time to quit than right now. So I quit and asked the Lord to help me quit and help me to hate cigarettes. And He did both at one time.
Weren't you going to talk about Ray Matthews?
Huh?
I thought you were going to talk about Ray Matthews.
Well, Ray was, you want to start on that subject? His daddy brought him in one day and said, son, we have given you all the advice we can give you. You've ignored our advice. If you don't continue your habits, let's go ahead and do what you've been doing. And he said, Dad, but I want to be like you. What do you mean? He said, I want to go in the Army and learn how to fly airplanes and helicopters. And his daddy said, the Army don't take felons. You're a convicted felon. And Junior wrote out his testimony. He said, I've been a disgrace to God, family, country, and I'd like a chance. So his daddy took that written testimony to General Barry Davis over in Raleigh, who I had the pleasure of flying to Florida with one time. And said, is there any way my son could get in the Army based on this? General Davis said, no, not at my pay grade. Somebody in the Pentagon would have to make this decision. But General Davis said, I'm going to the Pentagon tomorrow and I'll make sure the right person sees it. So the next day at 1 o'clock, Ray Sr. got a phone from General Davis, and he said, son, your son is going in the Army. And he went in the Army and walked away from drugs, And I need some paper or something.
I'll get it later, Daddy.
So his dad asked him, said, now you tell them drug dealers never come here again? Yes, sir. Were you sure? Yes, sir. So one night it was sleep. They'd already gone to bed, and some little girl came up and rang the doorbell. Remember that 2-story house they lived in out there on Castaic Highway? They didn't know who she was. So Ray got up and answered the door, and she wanted to know if Ray Jr. was there. He said, yeah, I'd like to see him. Well, he didn't know what was going on, so he went upstairs to wake him up. And through the open window, Anna heard some male voices out in that little cul-de-sac type thing. And one of them said, what if the old man starts something? And the other guy said, I'll whoop his rear end. So when Ray Sr. came back downstairs, Anna told him somebody in the car would like to whoop up on him. In the meantime, Ray had recently had a heart attack. So when he heard what Anna had said and heard from the car, he got his pistol, marched out to the car, and he was left-handed. And the gun in the left hand, he took his right hand and pulled the guy from on the steering wheel and with main strength and put him on the ground, put his knees on his armpits, stuck the gun in his throat, and said the foreign, he said, killing you would be like killing a gnat. And if I ever catch you on this property again, you're a dead duck. You understand? The guy will say, yes, sir, I understand. Well, there was a guy in the back seat in the meantime. Started talking his jive talking. Say, hey, man, you got to be so rough, man. Say, take it easy, man. And Ray said, the next thing I knew, I walked around to the back of the car, opened the door, did the same thing with that guy, warm. He pulled him out and slammed him on the ground, put his knees in his armpits, and read him the same riot act. And they scratched off and never came back. And never came back. I had a girl, I got